Radio for Skaro.
Hello and welcome to Video Free Skaro, your guide to everything Doctor Who and related sci-fi. On this episode, we're going to talk to Waris Hussein, Doctor Who's first director. We're also going to go behind the scenes into fan costuming, and pay no attention to that mechanoid. He's been deactivated. But first, the news. The Daleks are coming back. After being given a rest for Series 6, showrunner Stephen Moffat has said all versions are coming back, even the unpopular, multicolored Daleks. Does this mean a Dalek civil war? One certainly hopes so. In other Dalek news, Death of the Daleks is coming out on June 18th. Word has it, supplemental features, which is all we ever really care about, are a studio recording that goes for 23 minutes, a making-of featurette, and another featurette called On the Set of Death of the Daleks. Michael E. Bryant, the director of The Sea Devils, The Green Death, Robots of Death, and other classics, has put out a memoir called Who is Michael E. Bryant? It promises to be a quick and entertaining read. Gallifrey 1, the biggest fan convention held every year in Los Angeles, has opened up registration, and as of March 30th, almost 900 people have already registered. So if you'd like to go next February, you better get online at gallifrey1.com and register right now. In other news, Jenna-Louise Coleman is still the new companion. And finally, Waris Hussein will be at the Paley Center in New York on April 10th. If you can, go check him out. Or watch our interview with him right now from Gallifrey.
The show itself was being made almost as an experiment. Nothing like this had been thought of by the BBC before, and we have to understand the atmosphere under which it was created. The BBC at that time was very conventional and very, in many ways, conservative. This was a total innovation created by a wonderful head of drama at that time called Sidney Newman. Sidney was a Canadian.
Yes, like me.
And
so I'm proud of him, yeah.
Right, so you should be.
Uh-huh.
He's not, to my mind, been given the kind of attention he should be given, or the credit I think that this show should have at the end of every episode created by Sidney Newman. It has not been done, and I consider it an injustice to him. He was the first person I was going to mention as a non-Brit. Verity Lambert, who was the producer, was a Brit, but she was a woman. Mm-hmm. And she was the very first woman to produce anything of this nature at the BBC. And I was the young, at that time, only East Indian doing what I was doing. So if you add us together as a threesome, we were three outsiders. Yeah. And we created what is now turned out to be the most British of all shows.
Next, we're going to talk to Brian Little and Meta Hedden about their amazing costumes. They're well known in the Doctor Who community for incredible work. Let's take a sneak peek.
Hi, I'm Meta Hedden. I've been doing costuming for about 16 years. And this is kind of where we're at these days. If you compete like we do and you want to keep winning things, you have to keep upping your game a little bit. Unfortunately, the best costumes tend to be in the worst episodes, so we're doing this thing that we don't really have an emotional attachment to, but we sort of end up getting an emotional attachment to it. The Ood, for example, I never liked the Ood going into it. I thought they were stupid. A lot of people love them, I know, but after going through the effort of making them, which was quite painful, I now have a completely different bonding relationship with the Ood, because I am one now, essentially.
Basically, he was head cast first. It was kind of a thermoplastic shape of the head, just a basic rough shape of the head and shoulders. And then what we do is we sculpt a clean clay over the top of it so that you get the basic shape, and then you have to use reference photos or anything you can find to use as a guide for your shape. And then we had to sculpt them all separately. So the tentacles are sculpted separately from the head. The head, once it was done, we cast it using silicone. It was I believe, dragon skin. It's a type of silicone, I think it's a platinum cure, which is a very finicky type of silicone. It's one of those things you really want to do research online before you even attempt it. It was one of those things where we had to do a lot of research prior to it, because otherwise it would just be a hot, sticky mess.
Thanks for watching. We'd love to hear your suggestions for future episodes. And if you'd like to hear more about Doctor Who, go to www.radiofreeskaro.com. And please, subscribe to our channel.